Well, hey, bitch. It's JamiThatsMe here. Welcome back to the channel, honey. Welcome back to another conversation regarding Monique, her daddy, Mr. Sydney, and her son. Okay, Shalon. All right. For those of you guys that do not know, Shalon came out to speak out against something that his mother said when she sat down and did the interview with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay. All right, he came out to pretty much address the fact that she said that she's been praying to the universe for a better relationship with her son or whatever the case is, and he just wants her to keep her out of keep him out of her shenanigans because he feels like whatever she said, she's not actively trying to do at all. Okay. He feels like she's putting out a false narrative as though she's really trying to get her relationship with her child on track. And he says neither one of us really have the desire to want to move forward in this relationship at all. So let's not and say that we did. Okay. You already know that you've always said that you've been more interested in your career than you have been wanting to be my mom. And at this point, I could care less about being your child at this point. Okay. So it's obvious that they have some issues that's been brewing, okay? Now, Sydney and Monique came to the front and they decided to address her son. Now, they spent about 10% of the time speaking on her son and the dynamics with the son. And they spent about 90% of that time speaking on Stephen A. Smith, Tyler, Oprah. And they also kind of, to me, deflected a bit speaking on death threats that they said that they have received, okay? And they may have received those death threats. They're not sure exactly where those threats are coming from. But they said that they are going up against a big company when it comes to receiving residuals for the Parkers, so it could be coming from them. They don't know because they were receiving these death threats saying that they need to apologize, but they didn't know exactly who they need to apologize to and for what they need to apologize about. Okay, Monique ended that live by saying by telling people to stand in their truth, speak their truth, and all of that. And I just kind of had me feeling a little way because I'm like, when your son over here speaking his truth, then you kind of like discredit him. He sat up there and mentioned in his TikTok, he talked about how basically she likes to pacify him with monetary things like money, giving him things and stuff. And he's like, it's bigger than that. Okay. At the end of the day, that boy truly wants like a real relationship with his mom. And I feel like a lot of people do that. A lot of, you know what I'm saying? I feel like older people may do that, or anybody, when they really don't want to face the music for real, what they do is they try to offer you things. And I've even heard Monique mention that in that David Banner interview. I ended up seeing a clip of that surface. And she basically was saying how, like, basically saying that she got to a place where she was able to financially give him whatever it is that he wanted, so he shouldn't complain about nothing. You see that house with the pool in the backyard? You could go out there and play and you could do whatever it is you want to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got this backyard, you got this big old house. I could give you this, I could give you that. You better not complain, right? So it's one of those things where I feel like she used items and things to kind of mask whatever they had going on and hoping that that was going to suffice for her absence. And I think a lot of parents that are financially well off and successful often do that, where they feel like that's just enough. Like, okay, I can give you this, I can give you that. I couldn't give you my time, I couldn't give you, my energy. I gave you a piece of my love, you know what I'm saying? I gave you a little this or that, but all these other things that I'm giving you, this money, these cars or whatever, that should make up for some stuff. And there are some fans that feel like, Monique, with you being so absent and so vocal and loud mouth, for you to say that you wasn't interested in being a mom or anything to him, that's the least that you could do, which is to, at least buy him a damn car or whatever the case. So that's what some people are saying. Either way, all right. Sydney came to the front with Monique. They had some things to say about her son. Of course, they brought up his mental illness or whatever the case is. It was just a lot going on that live, and it really disappointed me because I'm like, Monique, you really gonna sit up here and let this man talk? See, this is what really pissed me off. It's the fact that you sat up there and said when here goes Sydney talking about something. Well, the last time we talked, you said that he talking to our son now, talking about the last time we talked, you asked if you could call me dad, and I told you can't call me dad because I know you're dad and I got a lot of love for that man. And then Monique is like, well, he has 3 kids, he can't call you dad. I mean, you can't call him dad because he has his own kids and you're not his child, so he can't call you dad. And I'm sitting over here like, bitch, Your son can't call this man daddy, but you can call this man daddy. Make it make sense. And I'll do one better for you. So if he can't call this man dad and the man cannot recognize him as his son, but more so uncle or whatever the case is, if he can't call him dad, why is this nigga sitting up here on this live addressing your child? Why is he having more to say to and about your child than you do? Since he can't even call him dad or whatever the case is, and he can't identify or recognize that young man as his son or whatever, because he calls him nephew, girl, whatever y'all got going on. My thing was, why is he sitting on this live then? And the cry out was more so for you than it was for him. And now, based on how y'all sat there and you allowed him to do most of the talking, it lets me know a few things. One, when that boy tries to have a conversation with you, he's often interrupted by you because you don't want to hear it, or by Sydney, because he always oversteps his boundaries. And based on how you allow Sydney to have so many things to say and interject and go on his little rant, for a minute lets me see what some other people might see when they be like, I just want to have a conversation with you and not him. I hate to say it, because it is given that he might overstep just a little bit. He might overstep just a little bit. Okay? And I feel like him being your manager, there's no issue with him being in the meetings. Honestly, I do feel like he should be in those meetings, but I also kind of feel like he got to let other people get a word in. Okay, because I feel like he might go in them meetings and he might overstep his boundaries. He might be talking a little too much and they just try, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, girl, those are just my thoughts. I'm not in the meetings with y'all. But all in all, okay, as I said, Shannon came out, had some things to say about the mom, Miss Monique. Monique and her husband came back and they combated some of the things that he said. Monique tells us, for a lot of you guys that did not believe me with the Tyler and Oprah situation, then just watch how things play out, is what she said. And then now here we are. She's telling us to watch how things play out with her son. Let me tell y'all something. I don't give a how it turns out for me in my personal. I don't care how it plays out. Because at the end of the day, I'm still going to find fault in Monique, period. And I'm sure she's not at fault alone. It does take two to make a relationship work, right? But you'll never be 100% excused from how you handled your child, in my personal opinion. Monique decided to come to the front, which is crazy because her husband, Sydney, was on the live talking about, oh, I wish that I would have had the text messages in front of me so that I could show the last time that you asked me about being your dad or something like that, or whatever the case is. And honestly, when y'all say that, him wanting you to be his dad, or him, these text messages that Monique released about her son, it's really giving it that boy still yearning for some type of love, is what it's giving to me. He's still yearning for something. Okay? When it comes to y'all, that he has yet to receive, even in his adulthood. Now I do feel like at some point when your kids are older and they are adults, you are not required to take care of certain things for them, in my personal opinion, like monetary things. I don't feel like you're required to have to take care of financial things for your son at the age of 30. So just like people are saying, well, why you took your mama money? Why his mama offered the money then? She didn't have to give him the money no more than he had to take it either. Okay, now when it comes to, how she handled him emotionally, girl, that's a different type of baggage that I'm definitely going to fault her for as we come into adulthood, because those are things that are still affecting him to this day. I don't care nothing about no text messages where y'all had subtle conversations here or there. Okay, situations and different things that y'all go through outside of those text messages will trigger him and bring up other things and show just how much of an outcast in the family he really was. But anyway, girl. What else I want to say? So yeah, Sydney came to the front talking about these text messages he wish he would have released, or whatever the case is. And see, that's my problem. That it's like I can't. I was glad he didn't have the text messages at that time, because who are you to try to air out her son when primarily the open letter was for his damn mama? Really, it was for the public and hoping that she caught a wind of it, okay? So she could change whatever ways he feels she needs to change. But who are you to try and put them text messages out to try and, out her son? And then next thing you know, you got Mo over here leaking some damn text messages that really, honestly, to me, wasn't saying a damn thing about nothing. Okay? Monique wasn't saying too much of nothing in these text messages. What it was giving for me is that this is old. I haven't talked to my son in about 3 years at this point. So obviously, if you don't have any recent messages between y'all, something has transpired. Something has happened between y'all. Yeah. All right. And I know a lot of people like, oh, well, she apologized. What else is he supposed to do? What else? What more do you want from Mo? What more do you want from me? I've apologized. I've apologized. If apologies does not come with changed behavior, it's going to trigger people. And then it's going to technically be a reset. And you're going to be right back where the fuck y'all started at. Okay? I feel like, and then he even said that he even talked about that, I believe, on the thing where he talks about her apologizing but not taking real accountability. You feel what I'm saying? Which means that you can apologize all day, but the behavior is not matching what you're saying. It's not changing. Nothing is changing. Right? Our relationship is still a bit strained because of whatever y'all, have gone through, more recently. But I'm not going to be standing on her side 100% with this. Now, I'm with Monique when it comes to like the Tyler and the Oprah and all this other stuff or whatever she went through, because I don't feel like they handled that 100% right. Okay. But when it comes to her and her child, like this situation that's playing out in the public, I'm not going to be on her side. I do not care anything about her being honest and her being open about this and her coming forward and saying, oh, well, I wasn't ready to be a mom and I wasn't this and that and da-da-da-da. I don't care shit about that, y'all. Y'all can say that till y'all run yourselves into the ground. It means absolutely nothing to me. And also it's the fact that she spoke on this situation about her son as though her son was ready for her to speak on it. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about even back when she was on David Banner podcast. I do understand that part of it is her story and she wants to tell kind of like her story as well. But what if the boy wasn't ready to have that ready to have eyes on him to where people know about the dynamic of y'all relationship? What if he wasn't ready to do that? And then people, I saw some tweets where people were trying to say that every time Monique speaks on something, her son comes out and says this and that. And I know I added somebody and I'm like, girl, when did that happen? Every time she speaks on their relationship, Shalon comes out. I'm like, when? Because I cannot recall any of that. This is the first time this young man has ever come out and spoke. Okay, I'm trying to see, where was that? Let me see. Let me scroll over here because I was just like, do you have proof of that? Can you show us? I said, the girl said Monique has constantly admitted to not being there like she should have when she was a young mother. I feel like every time that Monique has something going on around her, Shalon comes out of the woodworks, laugh my ass off. Then she says he is allowed to feel however he wants, but like don't act like she been hiding you. He wasn't acting like she was hiding him. And I'm like, do tell, what were the other times that he's spoken out? Because I ain't never hear this boy say a damn thing. So what others, y'all tell me? Because that was a serious question. I ain't never hear this, but this is my first time ever seeing this man and also hearing what the hell he has to say about his mom. Okay. I just feel like y'all is, y'all girl, y'all on some other shit, in all honesty. But what else? Yeah, so Monique drops these text messages and it's pretty much a back and forth between she and him. It's not really giving a whole lot. It's not really proving anything. She says, hey, my sweet babies, here are the receipts from a mother who allegedly does not love her son. We are sharing this with you, Shalon, and the community. Some will completely get it. Others won't. We love us for real. Girl, I'm so tired of you saying we love us. Let's not. Okay, so basically these are some text messages where they are going back and forth. Okay. And I don't even know if he said that you don't love him. I feel like he said that y'all are not interested in having a real relationship. Okay, so for you to sit up there and act like you want that, he was just pretty much combating and saying that's not what it is that you really want. I don't really want to get into these messages because they really ain't saying too much of SHI for real, for real. It's just a normal conversation that a kid would have with their parent back and forth, but it doesn't excuse how they feel about different parts of their life when it comes to this person or how that person may have handled him. During the times that y'all had these text messages, y'all probably was good in a decent space. But keep in mind, y'all have not talked since 2021 is what it's given because y'all ain't got no recent text messages. Okay, so something done went down. The other thing that was interesting primarily for me was the fact that Uncle Sid decided that he was going to text her son from her phone. And I'm like, herein lies some of the problem. I think you be allowing this man to interject himself too much when the son is really just trying to have a relationship with you. I do think that there is a lot of resentment there that he does have for his mom. I do. And I also feel like he could potentially get frustrated with her at times because he might struggle, just like he said, with communicating. You know what I'm saying? If he feels like he's trying to talk to her about something and then she's cutting him off or she's doing something that's like kind of like triggering him, I think that could also, play a role. Sydney says, remember today, and this is Uncle Sid. If you don't change your immature ways, you're going to lose, my man. We can't be mad at you, but we're definitely sad for you. How do you go from putting your mother on hold when generations of family are able to see Sanai on the cold side, but you gave no instructions to Tuffy or your mother as to when they would or could be able to see Sanai until after Tuffy brought this fact to your attention. So I want to believe that Tuffy could potentially be his dad, his real dad. So he says, interestingly, you're a man now, but you were a little boy just days ago as you needed me to walk you through getting a car. The items for the baby you wouldn't even have if your mother Tuffy and I didn't care enough to do that for you and Sanai. You needed to be rescued from your apartment weeks ago by Tuffy, but you cussed her out days. Okay, so Tuffy is a her. So maybe Tuffy is the cousin that sat up there and raised him. But then they did not go on to give us the rest of the messages. So I'm like, well, why didn't you show us the rest of it? What's wrong with something? So they didn't finish it, and we didn't get to see what his response could have been to this. So I don't know if he could have been checking Sid, correcting Sid, saying, no, you got the story wrong or whatever. I don't know what that was. But yeah, I mean, these messages they ain't saying nothing. Like, you brought them to us for what? Like, okay. They don't change my mind or make me feel any differently about the situation at all. Let me see what the comments are saying. Somebody says, Monique, these texts are 3 years old, most of which you're missing his calls and never calling him back. Why is that? Yikes. Okay. Somebody says, this is Angela Stanton, who often likes to be on the opposite side, which is more so the unpopular opinion. She says, never do this, Mo. As mothers, we don't have to prove to a bunch of strangers that never bought a can of milk, one single pamper, or spent one dime on our children. Real mothers know you love them. Okay. Excuse me. So this is what she's saying. No, she did not have to prove. And I would have preferred if she did not bring his text messages to the front. Trying to win a social media war. Girl, I guess, but it is what it is. Someone says, as a mother of a young adult son whom I often disagree with, I think it's the ultimate violation to post intimate discussions between you and he. A group of people you do not know do not need to know your son's credit issues, the plans for their midwifery, or what they ate for dinner. You do not have to do this, and you do not owe anyone any more details than has already been given. Your son expressed that you have violated his boundaries as your child, and he also expressed that you care more about fame than motherhood. Your posture and your response has dictated that he was correct in his assessment, and I agree 1,000%. I agree 1,000%. Every little thing that y'all have done has led us to believe that in that live, y'all validated everything that he said. When he said that you like to give monetary things and money like that's supposed to suffice. And y'all over there talking about she apologized. What is he supposed to do? I mean, what's she supposed to do? He mentioned something in his video where he said, an apology is I think he said apology is nothing to a person that's constantly being told by their parent, that they weren't interested in actually being their parent or something like that he said. But a lot of what they did in that live validated a lot of what that young man said. And based on Monique's response to some of the things he said in that live, or not live, it was a TikTok video, based on the things that Monique said to him, for me, leads me to believe, the first time that I listened to it, I said, I don't even think Monique watched her son's almost 10-minute video. I don't think she watched the full thing. I think that she may have seen clips, or she relied on what other people were saying on social media, and that's what she responded to. Because you could not have possibly heard everything that young man said. And after he called you out about the monetary things that you've given him, you get on your live, laugh, and say, son, when you bring up money, you know I told you, don't let nobody else tell you about your mama. You know your mama. And I'm like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? And then y'all go on to talk about how y'all got gifts for the grandbaby and did this and did that. Like, that's the very shit that he talking about. He didn't want those things. He wanted an actual relationship with his mom. And when I see these text messages, and I don't know what you thought you was trying to prove, but it proves that to me, he was continuing to keep himself open to try and have a relationship with his mom. And when I don't know, the term mommy hits so different to me than versus like mom, like, hey mom, like, but when you say mommy, like that's just like I don't know, it just hits a little different for me. I'm like, when I saw that, I'm like, he's like, hey mommy or whatever. I'm like, that boy's yearning for his mommy. Like I think he really did try to have a relationship and like disregard a lot of stuff that may have happened in the past, but I think you kept showing him a lot of the same shit. Okay, he had to come to a realization that, like, I'm good. I don't need this. She gonna do the same shit over and over. Why do I keep, putting myself through this same stuff? But anywho, this person goes on to say, you do not have to do this, and you do not owe anyone any more details than has already been given. Your son expressed that you have violated his boundaries as a child, and he also expressed that you care more about fame than motherhood. Your posture and your response has dictated that he was correct in his assessment. I've met and interviewed with you. You are a true talent and I love you, but I'm begging you, black woman to please stop this. Healing family trauma is an inside job. It's not performative. Ooh, this person is going off. And it's some of the most humbling work as a parent I've ever had to do. And yes, the burden falls on the parent. We have greater responsibility to heal, protect, and nurture ourselves and our children, not only in infancy and childhood, but throughout adulthood as well. The reason why I agree with this so much is because when I think about people that lose their parents at like the age of 30 or 40, I feel so bad for them because, or at any point in life, really, because there are still things that you're going to need to know and learn. And the person you would like to go to is probably your mom, more than likely, or your dad, or if you just had one parent, it's going to be one or the other, So I'm like, you're forever learning as an adult. I'm in my 30s and I call my mom still like, hey, such and such and such, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And then she'll give me her thoughts on that or what her experience was with that or anything. You're still going to need your parent, even in your adulthood, for the people that feel like it's supposed to just, stop. He's an adult now. He needs to be accountable for his own feelings and this and that. And it's like, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, she contributed to those feelings and emotions. She contributed to who the hell he is today. She plays a major role in that. That's why a lot of y'all is going to therapy now for shit that happened to y'all when y'all was younger. And a lot of it was likely done by your parents. But anywho, child, so then the person goes on to say, we go from overseers to counselors to advisors. She says, I wholeheartedly believe you want deeper connection, but you do not establish connection by violating confidence. The same tools that have been used against you in the industry, you are whittling in your family. You're misusing your power here, Monique. Your son is not your enemy. He's your child grieving a lost relationship with his mother. This is not the proper posture. Please remove this. Please go into your quiet room and pray for your family. The spiritual warfare is real. Okay? Listen. I agree with that statement. Somebody else says, I'm going to be 100. I think somebody got him to do that and say those things yesterday on social media to make her look bad. Y'all don't know it yet. They don't want Monique speaking the truth. I stand by what I'm saying. Definitely stand by it, girl, because I'm not. I don't believe none of this shit that somebody had this boy come out and say that. I don't. I think that he was finally on some, I'm sick of her I'm tired of this shit. Like, girl, let me just go ahead and speak out. I ain't no telling how long he probably been suppressing his real emotions and finally got the courage to say something. But I don't think it had anything to do with somebody. I think somebody got to him and made him say those things or whatever on social media. If anybody got to him, it could have been his significant other telling him to be honest and speak your truth. That's all his mama talk about. That's all his mama talk about is her truth, spilling her truth. She ended her live saying, keep it honest, tell your truth. That's his truth. If you want to tell it, he could tell it. She been telling her truth for years, almost a decade. So why can't he share his? And just for those that keep wondering, she brought him up in interviews. She spoke on her parenting relationship with him. He didn't. He's finally speaking on it. And y'all is bothered. I don't understand that. Somebody said this text thread looks super awkward. This isn't a healthy mom and son conversation. Why would you even post this? Okay. So I'm definitely, I'm in agreement with everybody else. I don't think that Monique is perfect. I do think that they both would need to sit down and, have a real conversation and definitely allow each other to talk. I think that's what makes that boy more frustrated and triggered. And I could be completely wrong, but my opinion is that I think he may be definitely triggered when he cannot fully express himself. And then, out of not wanting to probably be the problem or the problem child, he decides to just let it go sometimes and still be like, hey, Mom, you okay? You good? Y'all straight over there? Because he recognizes that life is short and maybe he could try. And then he's still faced with the same issue. I don't know. When it comes to that dynamic, most of the time I am going to put that on the parent. I am going to put that on the parent. So, yeah. But I'm going to let you guys argue that down in the comments because that's just how you guys are. I'm going to let y'all do y'all thing. I wanted to hop over real quick. Shout out to Chef Dun Dun. I wanted to get into this thread that he posted after Monique dropped these tweets. He says, I feel for Monique's son. My mother isn't rich by any means, but the exact thing that she is doing to her son is being and has been done to me. Some parents will never get it. The moment you respond and express yourself is the moment they go to talking about how ungrateful you are. But let's be clear, time don't equal money, okay? It does not. Parents can be cowards and not want to address the issue head on. They rather deflect and paint this narrative that you are the disrespectful, ungrateful one. Whole time the problem is them. That is so true, and I feel like a lot of older people think like that. They think like a lot of them do, okay? Like, you the problem, you ungrateful, I'm giving you this, I'm giving you that. And that's just a tactic that they use when they don't want to face the music and deal with their own fuck shit. And accept the fact that, no, you could potentially really be the problem. Like, it's really you. And all that I am, chances are, I subconsciously learned that shit from your ass. Okay? I may have learned a lot of shit to not do, but some of the ways that I am, I subconsciously got it from your motherfucking ass. But anywho, he goes on to say, should have stayed out of it, okay? Basically, Monique's daddy should have stayed out of it. I agree. Like, why are you there? Why are you there? You're only making matters worse. And I'm starting to question if he's the common denominator in a lot of the issues that you may have with other folks. Anywho, he goes on to say, to then try and use his mental health to weaponize the fact that he truly expressed himself was a huge eye-opener for me. Y'all on this internet with so much to say about him. So what if he is angry and bitter? He has every right to be. And I agree, because how is it that Monique has a right to be angry and bitter based on how things happen with her and Tyler and Oprah, and she could continue to talk about it all these years later and use it in her stand-up comedy and all this other stuff, and does it repeatedly. But this young man comes out and do a TikTok, a quick video, a 10-minute video expressing his thoughts, finally feeling empowered to get out what the hell it is that he has to say. And then now it's a problem and he needs to shut up and he needs to be quiet and he should have never said anything. But his mama out here advocating for people to tell their truth. And she spoke on him in an interview, so he can't respond. That doesn't make any sense. And if you agree with that, for me, you just strike me as a person that operates like Monique in real life. And a lot of people I seen in the comments, they was trying to like give their experience of being a parent and how they can relate to Monique and this, that, that, and the other. And it's like, what I feel you're doing is you're really just using her as a mask, okay, to hide from what the hell you got going on or feeling validated. Okay, I feel like y'all are using her as a mask to feel validated in how you respond and how you handle your child, because you too have been through that. So you say, or whatever she's been through, that's what y'all feel like y'all have been through. And that's what I think. I just feel like y'all using her situation as a mask to hide, for your own shit and to justify why you been out here treating your child any kind of way. Because you didn't show up how you needed to show up in childhood for your kids. And that just don't be making sense. I just don't understand how y'all feel like she is above being checked. But if it's dads out here not providing and doing for their kids, y'all be perfectly okay, especially in the childhood not showing up. Y'all be cool with as they get older. They don't really fuck with the dad and this, that, and the other. If this was a man and his dad, y'all would be ridiculing the hell out of the dad. You wasn't there, and you cared more about being out in the strip club, hanging in your career. You wasn't stunning your son. Your son is calling for you. This, that, and the other. Y'all will be dragging the hell out of that man. But now it's y'all precious baby, sweet baby Monique. Y'all don't want to call a thing a thing. Yeah, no. Anywho, Chef Dun goes on to say, lastly, I'm praying for his peace of mind. It's tough trying to repair and restore a relationship and the person not be receptive to what's going on at all. I think as his mother, she talked long enough. My heart breaks for him. Okay. So shout out to Chef Dun. That's what he had to say about that Monique situation. And I mean, they just need to have a sit down and gain an understanding. And I do think that when that sit down happens, Mr. Sydney does not need to be included in that. Now, I'm not saying that Sydney and Shalon don't need to have their own separate conversation, because I'm sure that they do, if y'all want any progression in the family to go forward, okay? But when it comes to your son, like, nah, like, I got a son, okay? My oldest son is 20. First of all, my fiance knows that he can't have any kind of conversation with my son. You know what I'm saying? My son also knows that too. Like, if it depends on, like, if he needs certain type of advice, of course he's gonna go to him about some stuff. But if my son has an issue with me, my man not finna step in the middle of that. Because at the end of the day, also, my son was here way before you. So what the fuck, like, and first of all, that relationship is intact like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no way I'm finna ever sit somewhere and just if my son has an issue with me, I'm not about to let his stepdad sit there in the room, number one, because honestly, it's more than likely going to be me and my child. Number two, allow the stepdad to have more of a conversation and say more to my child than what the hell I'm going to say when the grievance and the issue is with me. Are you stupid? And then I'm not going to be in no shit like that anyway. Okay? I'm just not. Okay? Because I believe in allowing my child to say what they need to say. Okay? And just because your child is like a junior high student or a high school student, whatever it is, y'all, they may not be above the age of 21 or whatever the case is, doesn't mean that they're not human. It doesn't mean that they don't have feelings either. So I feel like they should be able to express themselves and whatever they're dealing with or how you may have made them feel. Because a lot of parents like to yell at you, beat your ass, and then turn around and want you to hug them and give them a kiss. No, ma'am. Okay? They're people now. They have feelings as well. But yeah, I just wanted to come and run my mouth, let y'all know that Monique done dropped these text messages that for me don't prove a goddamn thing. Everything she may feel like it proves on her end, it proves on his end. Does this look like a mother that doesn't love her child and this and that? Okay, the text messages also don't look like a son that doesn't love his mother. Because if anything, to me, the text messages was giving a son that was yearning for his damn mother. The same mother that was like, son, I'm going to give you a call right back. Yada, yada, yada. And these same messages came from 2021. So let us know how you guys been doing since then. since then. And I just, girl, I hope y'all get it together, girl. I hope y'all get it together. Some part of me wish Shalon would have never even came to the front and said anything the way so many people are going to discredit and invalidate how he feels about shit. But at the same time, I'm so glad that he said it and got it up off his chest, because ain't no telling how long he been holding on to that and been wanting to get it up off him and share it with, just share that. Put that big one out there. So that's how I'm feeling about that. As I said, I'm going to let you guys continue to argue down in the comments and disagree, agree, do whatever the hell it is you want to do. Happy Valentine's Day. Okay? Say it with love. Okay? Say your disagreements with love, honey. When you hit that like and that dislike, hit it with love. Okay? Do that once a day. All right? As I'm about to go spend time with my love. And let me add an S to that. My loves. Okay? So I'm about to go do that with my peeps on a Valentine's Day. I hope you guys are out there getting the love that y'all need. Okay? Ain't that something? Girl, Monique dropped all this shit on Valentine's Day. Girl, yikes. And then, let me say this before I go. I thought it was kind of interesting that you, after that live, you and Daddy could have been dropped these fucking receipts on yesterday when y'all was planning on dropping on receipts. Yesterday, like y'all said. Okay? When he was like, oh, I wish I had the text messages, yada, yada, yada. Why did you wait until the wee hours when everybody woke up the next morning for you to drop this? What it's given is that you wanted to trend yet again. So I don't know about that, girl. Okay. I'm not gonna stand with you on this one. It doesn't mean that I don't like Mo. It doesn't mean that I'm not standing with her on this. I stand with her on that, but I'm not standing with her on this. Okay. That's giving a little sketchy that you wait till the very next morning and then now you want to drop it on this day to go viral, I suppose, and continue the conversation. What y'all said on that live could have ended it all. It could have ended it all, and y'all probably could have got on the phone with that man, resolved whatever, tried to call him, got somebody to get him on the phone, did something. And then the next thing we should have been hearing from y'all was, hey, the same thing Shannon, Sharpe, and Mike Epps did. Hey, we had a conversation. We are choosing to move forward as a family and work on things. I promise the next time y'all hear from us, we're going to be in a much better place then than we are now. Okay? And you can bank on that. Like, that's what we should have been hearing from y'all. I ain't want to wake up to no damn text messages from 2020, 2021. Okay? And then, matter of fact, let me go back to these messages real quick. Because I just want to see. So this was December 2021. Oh, okay. 2020. Okay. The last time you talked to your child was what, in April of 2021? And that's when he was talking about the baby and stuff. And then y'all want to go all the way back to 2021 when y'all had bought stuff for the baby a long time ago? Oh, child. Well, either way, good luck. That's all that I got, child. I'm going to let y'all go ahead. I'm Jami, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jami, that's me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
City and cul-de-sac, coming out swinging like soldier rag, leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda, we hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be